Hi, my name is Pastor Hal York, and welcome to Truth in the Trenches. Trust you and your family had a blessed Merry Christmas, and I'd like to wish each of you a very Happy New Year, and look forward to another year in Truth in the Trenches in the book of Proverbs. Today we're going to be in Proverbs chapter 3, verse 7. Do not be wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and turn away from evil. Now obviously verse 7 follows verses 5 and 6. And verses 5 and 6 are two of the most well-known verses, if not in this book, if not in the whole Bible, where we read, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths." And then we have the warning in verse 7, "Do not be wise in your own eyes." And what the writer is telling us is you can do one or the other. You can trust in the Lord with all your heart, or you can be wise in your own eyes, but you can't do both at the same time. Do not lean on your own understanding is another way of saying, do not be wise in your own eyes. Now, someone who's wise in their own eyes is someone we bump into quite a bit in the book of Proverbs. There's someone who thinks they think they see everything clearly, that they have all the answers. They know how all their actions are going to turn out. They don't need to seek counsel. They don't need to ask for advice. They're put off by the advice from others. Their favorite song is "I Can See Clearly Now." And it's rather ironic that the end of this person would suggest that they don't see anything clearly. They trust in themselves. They lean on their own understanding. In all their ways they think they are right and justified. They decide the paths they will take. And Proverbs describes such a person in chapter 14, verse 12. "There is a way that seems right to a man, but his end is the way to death." They don't see things quite as clearly as they may think. Paul warns of such proud, haughty attitudes in Romans chapter 12, verse 16. "Live in harmony with one another. Do not be haughty, but associate with the lowly. Never be wise in your own eyes." Harmonious living with others and being wise in your own eyes seldom, if ever, are compatible. The only way you can live or get along with someone wise in their own eyes is to agree with them on everything. There's no tolerance for questions or suggestions. But what a contrast to the wise person. Proverbs 12:15 says, "The way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but a wise man listens to advice." As we know, the book of Judges tells us 2 times that it was written during a period of time when everyone did that which was right in their own eyes. There was no king in Israel, which means everybody was king. Everyone was their own authority. And if you read the book of Judges, it was not really what I would call a good time to be alive. It was a dangerous time to be alive. You have to sleep with one eye open. Life was cheap. And the result of such lifestyles caused Israel to be overrun by their enemies time and time again. And then they would cry to God for help, and he would deliver them through a judge. He would raise up, and in a few years they'd be right back racing down the same road with the same attitudes, only to wind up in the same place time and time again. Why? Well, Proverbs 26:12 says, "Do you see a man who is wise in his own eyes?" And that's what you see in the book of Judges. There's more hope for a fool than for him. That verse does not give much hope to a person wise in their own eyes. There's an interesting dialogue that Jesus has with the Pharisees in John chapter 9, verse 38 to 41. In verse 39, Jesus says, "For judgment I came into this world, that those who do not see may see, and those who see may become blind." And some of the Pharisees near him heard these things and said to him, "Are we blind also?" And Jesus said to them, "If you were blind, you would have no guilt. But now that you say, 'We see,' your guilt remains." A blind man who thinks he can see is the blindest of all. And he's referring here to spiritual blindness. Just imagine a blind man who thinks he can see. Who thinks he can see, but he sees nothing. Who thinks he can see, so he never asks for help. He thinks he can see, so he never seeks advice. He thinks he can see, so he never looks to God for truth. He thinks he understands, but he understands nothing. A blind man is clean in his own eyes. He never seeks forgiveness. Saying they see cut themselves off from the one who can truly give them what they truly need. They are in spiritual darkness, but think that they are in the light and have need of nothing. We've looked at this verse before, but I thought it would be a good reminder as we begin 2024, the new year. Which kind of person describes you and describes me? One who's trusting in the Lord with all their heart and leaning not on their own understanding? Or one whose every way is right in his own eyes? He's wise in his own eyes. Our verse reminds us that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. In Job 28:27 and 28, where then does wisdom come from? And where is the place of understanding? Job 28:20. And then verses 27 and 28, then I saw wisdom and declared it. And then he saw wisdom and declared it. He prepared it. Indeed, he searched it out. And to man he said, behold, the fear of the Lord, that is wisdom. And to depart from evil is understanding. Fear the Lord and turn away from evil. Repent. I think it's a great verse to begin our 2024. Am I fearing the Lord? Am I walking in wisdom? Or am I blind, but I think I can see? I'm lost, but I don't think I need any help. I'm wise, so I don't think I need any counsel. Are we wise in our own eyes? Are we trusting in the Lord with all our heart and not leaning on our own understanding? Do not be wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and turn away from evil. May this truth guide us and guard us in the trenches of life as we seek to live our lives for the glory of God and the good of others. May God bless.